Welcome to DAX Machina. Join us as we explore the mysteries of this world. Cryptids, monsters, macabre tales, and horror stories abound. Could they be true? Are monsters real?
Good evening, folks, and thank you for joining us on another edition of DAX Machina. We've got a great show for you guys tonight. I think you guys are really going to enjoy it. Joining me in the house is Steve Wildman Monrotis and Robbie Rip Rains. Doc is taking care of some family business tonight, and you'll have to put up the three of us. So but we've got a lot of content for you guys tonight. Some really exciting stuff to talk about. Boys, how the heck are you?
As Doc would say, Wyatt, I am rolling.
Stealing the line. There we go.
Pretty good.
Somebody's got to honor the man.
Yep.
Definitely. Well, hopefully he'll get a chance to be back with us here soon. We've got a lot of stuff to cover tonight. I think you folks are going to be very very intrigued by this. It's an interesting subject. There's a lot of stuff that's going on behind this. I've been telling you guys for a long time, there's a lot of crazy activity in Missouri, and this is just going to kind of lend credence to that. I've got a bunch of pictures that I'll be bringing up on. We'll be talking about them individually, but at the moment, I wanted to add a little bit in and say Robbie was out last night doing some cryptid research of his own in his area, and he had a kind of an interesting night. Robbie, you want to tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah. Me and Steve and Jesse went out up in Oconee County, which is the next county over from where I'm at, and they do the calling and hooping and all that kind of stuff, which I don't believe in, as we've talked about on the show, because you don't know what you're saying. But we get out there at the very little point. We went up to the top of this little ridge, and it had a trail that walked up and around a creek, kind of up on top of a little rise, and then walked out to this little point. And it was basically there's a bunch of mountain ranges kind of surrounding it, so it was kind of in the middle. Well, Jesse started doing some hoops and hollers and stuff like that, and we got a response. Now, initially it sounded canine, but it was really weird the way it started off as a high pitch, then it kind of slid back down the octave scale, and then it kind of raised back up, and it did kind of I was trying to tell DA and Steve before we started, it almost kind of did like a little warble, like a high and low.
Almost like a yodel, right?
Yeah, something like that. And so Jesse did it again, and it replied again, almost that same way. He did it a third time. We didn't get a reply. So, and we could hear some birds way off in the distance, way away from, like, if that was over there, the birds and stuff we could hear way away from that. Anything from us towards where we heard the response, you couldn't hear anything else other than that response. So we got back to camp, and I told Steve, I said, pull up some known Dogman recordings, some recordings that people say came from Dogman, and some of them were pretty close to what we heard. I mean, I'm not saying it was, but it's kind of interesting.
It's enough to pucker your backside.
Oh yeah.
And you were choosing to sleep on a hammock outside of a tent for this.
Mm-hmm.
Well, a hammock beats sleeping on rocks.
Yeah.
Well, that's true, but
Steve, I've never been accused of being the sharpest knife in the drawer, so I mean,
Well, I've had a similar moniker myself, my friend, as if a piece of canvas is going to protect you from a dog man anyway. But I at least like the illusion of shelter.
I was sleeping.
The illusion of safety.
I was sleeping in the right position though, so
there you go.
So if anything had to grab me, it probably would have got a nice surprise.
Cam's got your number there, Rip.
Oh my God. You don't even need Doc here to call you out.
Look, Ken, just because Doc ain't here don't mean you got to transfer it to me. Tactical Smurf.
Tactical Smurf.
Jake Lake says
Love you,
literally
Ken.
a dude taco.
Oh,
Yeah, I would guess that hammocks are the soft tacos of the bear world.
Hey, you know.
But at least you brought the extra hot sauce in the form of a pew pew.
Yep.
I was gonna say it. Granted, I'm probably a bigger coward than most, but if I was listening to something that I had a pretty healthy suspicion maybe a dog man, I'd be sorting my whoopee by the time that night was over, I think.
Yeah. And like I said, I'm not saying that's what it was, but when we got back and started listing the things that people have recorded saying that it was a dog man, there's a lot of them that sounded really close to what we heard. So, you know,
Pretty awesome, though.
most people will hear it right off the bat. Oh, that's coyote. That's a coyote, or it's a wolf. It just didn't sound like any coyote or wolf that I'd ever heard.
Now, where were you at again? Like, were you locally there in South Carolina?
Yeah, just next county over. I live in Pickens, and we were over in Oconee County.
Gotcha.
Richard Cox says, until they invent Kevlar ceramic steel tents, I ain't going camping again.
He's gonna be the one that has the tent made out of a blade of armor.
There you go. he only goes camping if he could take the mimic units.
There you go.
That would have been nice.
Oh my God,
because it would have been more comfortable than, that thing was. My hammock's rated for 450 pounds, but I'm not sure them trees were rated for 275 because I started out above the ground, and as soon as I sat in it, I was like on the ground. I'm like, this is going to be comfortable.
He got done. There was a crop circle where it used to be.
It's not that I don't like sleeping in a tent. I just find that the older I get, the more I really value air conditioning.
Oh,
well, you didn't know it. We didn't need no air conditioning last night. It was pretty chilly up on top of that mountain. So,
Ken Rock says, "Where at? No, Tony, Robbie."
The road we were off of, Ken's Jumping Branch Road. I don't know if you heard of that, but it's I'll remind me before the show's over, Ken. I'll send you the. I've got the coordinates pinned. I'll send it to you.
Northwood says, a dog man would take a bite out of my ex and die a horrible disease-ridden death.
And he's on the board.
David By says, I was in a tent on a cot after DA's wife had acorns dropped on her. Yeah, that night we were at the campfire when we kept hearing stuff getting chucked out of the woods that my wife and Aunt Trista had, David slept like 100 yards away from there in a tent.
I'm an Eagle Scout. I used to, I would camp with just a drop cloth and a sleeping bag and didn't think anything of it. Nowadays, I'm like, okay, well, I got to refrigerate my insulin. How am I going to plug in my CPAP? I'm like, screw it. It sucks to get old and fat.
I'm right there with you.
Yep.
I do value my comfort. So, you guys want to jump into this craziness? Now,
I'm excited.
I'm gonna be showing some pictures leading up to the big reveal. Okay, so we're gonna be talking about a buddy of mine. Let's just call him Eric. I'm not gonna give his full name. He lives here in the Ozarks, about 45 minutes from me, near the Niangua River, which is where I've had some pretty weird experiences of my own. He's had what he believed is Bigfoot activity on his property, and he's one of the people that I've talked to over the last few months. If you guys remember when we did the show talking about Native American plants and some of the times that Bigfoot has exhibited the usage of the same plants, well, he's one of the people I talked to that noticed that some of these archways and stick formations were marking areas with medicinal plants. So the first picture I'm going to show you guys is, well, we'll just get started from this one, but let me get that brought up on screen, and we'll kind of go from there. This will bump us over to the side. You guys can see this. It's not a particularly large tree, but it's had its bark stripped. Now, granted, you can take this in and of it by itself. Anything that has stripped that bark, it's not a particularly large tree. But we're going to see where some of these, well, and we all know that spruce bark has been used by Native Americans to treat pain for, well, as long as there's been recorded history. If you chew spruce bark, it can be used to ease like joint pain, headache, even toothache. If you boil it into a tea, it can be used to calm your stomach. There's a lot of medicinal properties for spruce bark. But this one is just one of the spots. Here's another one. Again, this one's not particularly small, and not particularly large. So when you look at this one, you can think, yeah, this could be anything. But again, when you kind of take these with the bigger picture of what he's got going on around here, this is one of the trees that's been pushed over in his area. You can see the dog in the middle. That's just a pup. But he's got a lot of these areas where trees have been knocked down. That's the base of that tree. It didn't break off. It's been pushed over in the ground. It's not been broken off. It wasn't dragged there. It was basically just shoved over. There's a slightly better view. You can see where the earth is kind of pushed up where that came up. This one, well, I'm not sure if this one's really too relevant. I wish I was able to have gotten him on the show to talk about each of these pictures. This one's a tree break. Granted, it looks like it's got some burn damage on it, but that's a pretty big snap. And here we've got bark stripped off of a spruce tree, and this is about 20 feet off the ground. Squirrels don't take that much bark. This is not something you would typically see this high up of a tree.
If it was insects, it would be all over the tree, not just one little strip.
And porcupines, they'll generally strip the bark anywhere from 2 to 3 feet at the base of the tree. Porcupines generally don't get much higher. There's another limb down. This, I don't know if you can see it very well, but that impression to the left of his foot is, and because of the leaf litter, you can't get a lot of definition, but it's a track that is approximately twice the size of his. And he wears a size 9. I don't know how well you can see this, how well it transfers, but we've got some others that'll show this a little bit better. That's a trackway. You can see where the impressions are on the ground. Robbie, can you see that?
Yeah. Right.
But again, it's leaf litter, so you can't get a lot of track detail. But he said this is fairly common along his property, especially in the fall. There's a bowed branch that's been bowed over. I think that's another track. Another trackway. Yeah, granted, I know some of these are kind of hard to see, folks. David By says, do we have porcupines in the Ozarks? I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen one in this area. This was the beginning of a blind. This was constructed on a tree that had been pushed over at his property, and it's within sight of his house. He said he found that that way, and was a little concerned that maybe they were watching him or his kids. There's another angle of that same blind that's being constructed. Here's another tree with some bark off of it. Again, this one's low to the ground though. This tree's been pretty much stripped all the way down almost to the ground. There's a much bigger tree that's been stripped. And this one's been stripped almost 20 feet up. That's another view of another one that's been stripped. I think this one's about 6 feet off the ground that it's been stripped to, and you can see where it's been pulled off. It's recently on the trunk there. This tree's been stripped pretty much from about 6 feet down, pretty much all across it. There's another trackway. You can kind of see where the leaves have been crushed down, kind of going from. Let me see if I can, like, right here to right here to right here to right here, or something kind of walked through there. And again, he said for scale, They're about twice the size of his size 9 foot. This is another kind of hard to see trackway. I really wish these would show up better on screen, but I'm afraid this is the best I'm going to be able to do. Some of these are just trackways. Here's another tree that's had a lot of branches twisted off of it, and you can see where those branches have basically been torn. A branch that big is going to take a lot of force to break. And this wasn't like after a snow load, and we don't get that much snow in Southwest Missouri anymore anyway. So there's no way this was snow load. Another partial trackway. This is about 25 feet up this tree where the bark has been stripped off.
DA, little Patty wants to know where in Missouri did you say it was?
It's near the Niangua River. It's kind of northwest of Springfield. I don't want to tell you exactly where, but it's out past Elkland, between Elkland and Buffalo, Missouri. Gary Lee says, I can't think of any animal officially known in Missouri that could strip bark that high. Yeah, me either. And folks, trust me, we ain't got to the good stuff yet. If you guys will keep an eye on the chat, I'm watching the pictures. So I appreciate that, guys. Here's another one. Look how much the bark has been wrecked from this one. This is another spruce tree. And I think he said that was about 20 feet up. There's a smaller tree that's been pretty much just had the bark removed from it. This one's been stripped to about 8 feet off the ground. Another tree that's been pushed over. And again, when we start talking about tree structures, we don't know what they mean, and this could just be deadfall. We don't know for sure, but he took pictures of everything he thought was odd on his property. There's another tree that's been basically just stripped of bark. Oops. Okay, this is the skull that he found. At first, he thought his dogs had brought it up, but he went out in the field behind his house and was walking around. And when he came back, it was sitting on his porch. I'm going to show you some other views of this skull. I've shown it to Robbie. I've shown it to Doc. I've shown it to a lot of people, and nobody can identify what this is. Robbie found one similar to it, and they said it belonged to an unidentified animal. Look at the teeth on that.
The hell is that?
I have never seen it's obviously a predator. When you see the side view of it, you're going to see the canine teeth. This is a predator. Look at the size of those freaking canines.
Yep.
It's a meat eater, whatever it is.
First initial reaction when you look at it first, you kind of think deer. Then you start looking at the teeth, and I was like, that's not a deer's teeth.
And you want to see the thing that really freaks me out? Granted, this thing is only about the size of a softball. It's not real big. Look right here. You can see the cursor moving. It has a sagittal. It has a sagittal.
Is that a sagittal crest?
It has a crest. This is not a canine skull. This is not a feline skull. It's not a bear skull. This is not anything naturally happening in Missouri. And if it is a Bigfoot skull, it's a baby. It's not very big. It's got that crest. It's obviously got thick jawbones. And this is all we've got is the small one. Someone says it's a feral human. I don't think it's a human at all.
No, look at those canines. I mean,
here's the front view. You can really see that sagittal crest now. You can see over here the sides of the skull itself and this crest. There's nothing like this that I know of that lives in Missouri. Predators in Missouri, raccoons can be predators. This ain't a raccoon. This is not a possum. This is not an armadillo. This is not a wolf. This is not a mountain lion. This is not a bobcat. This is not a black bear. what the hell is it?
Baby
Now,
Goodwin?
I don't want to say that I think this is some sort of Bigfoot type. Well, personally, I'm leaning toward I think that's what it is, but I don't know. I've sent this picture out to a number of people. Nobody's gotten back to me. Nobody knows what it is. It is not something that's indigenous to Missouri. December says reptile. If it's a reptile, it's a big damn reptile.
What reptile in Missouri is that big?
No kidding. Well, Northwood says maybe someone had a chimp or something that got loose. The guy that brought this to me, he's lived on the same land for over 30 years, knows the neighbor, because he lives out in the middle of nowhere. He knows the people that have lived around him, and he said he's known them all his life, and that nobody's ever out there that has ever mentioned owning any kind of chimpanzee or anything. Now, supposedly years ago, out at Exotic Animal Paradise, there were chimps there, but I compared this to images, three-dimensional images of a chimp skull, and it doesn't really look like it at all. AJ says, I'll see if Jessica can remote view its origin. That's not a bad idea. Someone says, Sherry Porter says, I think Sasquatch would have something closer resembling a human skull, but much bigger and beefier. I would say it would, especially if it's a gugway, it would certainly look more primate than human. But again, I'm not going to say with any 100% certainty that of anything. I don't know what this is.
Rethink Incorporated wants to know if you got a picture of the bottom of it.
I don't know. That's not it. I don't have a picture of the bottom. But what I do have, let's stop sharing the screen. What I do have is the skull itself. I don't want to take it out of the plastic bag unless I just have to. But here's the bottom of the skull, if you can see it. The light's kind of rough on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I don't like handling it with bare hands, just in case there's any DNA clinging to it, or might be able to extract something from the bone. So I'm trying not to handle it with my bare hands. But there it is without the plastic over.
Here, I'm changing it to make your screen a little bigger, DA.
Okay.
That way they can see better.
And again, the whole thing is, it's not huge. I mean, if it's some kind of reptile and it's in this area, it's the biggest damn lizard I've ever seen in Missouri.
Yeah, I don't know of any.
This thing would be Komodo dragon size.
Yeah, there are no terrestrial reptiles in Missouri that I know of that size.
It fits easily right on the palm of my hand. We have no idea what this is.
I mean, a reptile that size. You're talking a goanna or a monitor lizard or something of that.
Daniel Hoyle says, any plans to test the skull? Yes, I'm going to reach out to a couple of universities in the area and see if anybody would be willing to tell me what it is. I might even go talk to some of the guys from the Missouri Department of Conservation, but I wouldn't swear 100% that they'd give me a straight answer. Like, oh yeah, that's prairie dog.
I wonder.
No, it's not a prairie dog.
What about
Jack Max says chupacabra?
What about sending a couple pics to Doug?
I will do that. I'll send those pics to Doug.
And maybe MK.
David Bites says, where does the spinal cord enter? Spinal cord enters kind of at the back, much where like a chimp skull is. It looks like it comes in, so probably it would set about like this. I don't know how well you can see that, but it looks like it's intended. It doesn't look like it was like an elongated body, so to speak. It doesn't look like it's like how it attaches, like at an angle, like on a horse's head or something like that. That seems to attach very much like a primate. Johnny Heft is at the big prairie dog. Darcy's Wiki says, can you send me the images of that skull in Messenger? Do I have you on Messenger? Richard Cox says, don't touch at the full moon, you get transformed. That's entirely possible. Lori Barnes says, the teeth just don't look like a Sasquatch. Weird angle, don't seem to match the head for a Sas. Now, again, it could be a Gugway, but again, I don't know what it is. I'm not going to say I know what it is because we don't. I'll put those up on the big screen again. Let me share that again. We'll do the pictures of the skull one more time.
It's still weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't look like reptile teeth.
No,
I mean, when you
it
sent
looks
that
like
to
a
us
predator.
when you sent that to us last night, that's the first thing I said was those teeth look weird. And then Doc said the exact same thing, right? I mean, we both like were texting and sending it at the exact same time about how weird the teeth look.
So Northwood's just let me see if I can. I'm not smart enough to make this thing work. Northwood just suggested to look at a picture of an orangutan skull. There we go. Is that it? Yep, I am. There we go. I am a little technically retarded here, folks. Sorry.
Hang on.
No, not even close. Teeth wise, maybe, but eyes are in a different spot. It's got a sagittal crest on it, but hang on, I'm gonna send you this picture, DA.
Well, I don't know anything besides a primate that has a sagittal crest, but I don't claim to be a, comparative anatomist. Can't say it. Anatomist either.
I just sent a picture of an orangutan skull to the chat, DA, if you want to look at that. The co-host chat.
Oh yeah, that doesn't look anything like it. Robbie, do you have that one of the one do you still have the picture of the one you found? Can you send that to the co-host chat?
Yeah, hang on, let's see if I can find. I think I sent that in our little chat group, didn't I, last night?
That was via text. It wasn't in that.
Yeah, I'm sending it right now.
Okay, I will put that up as well.
All right, sent.
Alrighty. I'm gonna share that on the screen. This is the closest that we could find. Robbie found this. Well, Robbie, you tell about it. You're the one that found it. So.
Well, I just while we were talking last night, me, you, and Doc, I just typed in animal skulls in Missouri, and that's the first thing that popped up. It said, you can see there it says a skull of an unknown animal, and that's
The teeth are very similar.
Teeth are similar, but I don't see a sagittal crest on that, and
I don't see the crest on it at all.
Eyes are a little bit different on that top skull, but the way the teeth are set in, that was the closest thing that I could find, and that's like I said, it said unknown. So,
C. Blanton says, are those trees that were stripped, are they cedar? Yes, they were. Jack Max says, eyes look like they're on the sides of the head the same way a horse or a deer is. The thing is it certainly does not have ungulant teeth. It has large canines. So again, it's kind of setting us all on our heels, trying to figure out what the hell it is.
Mhm.
Northwood says, I don't think my ex has any relatives in Missouri.
And he's on the board again.
Oh, yeah, David By, you're right. It was spruce, not cedar. I'm sorry about that. I misspoke. Yeah, they're spruce trees. Little Patty says a baby Wendigo. Again, when Robbie mentioned Gugway, it made a lot more sense. It looks more like a mandrill than a chimp. That one guy just said exactly that thing. Just take the bottom jaw off of it. Honestly, looks like a mandrill. That would mean Gugway. There are no mandrills in Missouri.
There's no mandrills in North America.
Right. Not naturally. Maybe in zoos, but
Yeah.
I've never heard of one being on the loose around this area. And again, my buddy's lived on this same land for 30 plus years, and he's been whooped at. He's had his house struck. He's had things looking in his window. He's got all these spruce trees stripped. He said that certain times of the year, if he goes out in the woods, they kind of let him know you're not really welcome out here, and he'll back off and leave him. He's part Native American, so he's very close to his land. He hunts that land. He's hunted it since he was a kid. He's lived on that land for 30 plus years. He's a combat veteran. He does not rattle easy. So there's something out here. And he said initially he thought his dogs brought that skull up, but then it dawned on him that the dogs were with him while he was out in the field. And when he came back to the house, that was sitting on his front porch.
Did you get the picture I sent, DA?
The mandrill skull.
Some features look close.
Yeah, it's mandrill-like, but it's not an exact match.
But
the teeth are wrong, but the skull shape is right.
But a Gugway is not a mandrill. That's just the closest thing we know to compare it to.
Exactly.
So just because it doesn't match, it's got a lot of similar features.
Yeah,
but it's not,
I'll give
not
you
the
that.
same animal.
Interesting.
I just got something. Let me share this. I just got this from one of the guys in chat. That one guy in chat sent me this. You guys might want to take a look at this. That's a mandrill skull. You can look at the way the skull top is, how the skull is lower, and then you've got the sagittal crest. That's very similar.
Yep.
But the nose socket and the teeth are different. It certainly doesn't have as pronounced of a snout, but it's got that same type of the way it points back to a triangular sagittal crest. So that's extremely similar.
Thanks, Ken.
What'd Ken say?
Being a smart ass. He said the word is analog. I'm not Doc. I'm just trying to be a reasonable facsimile.
Not another $1 million word.
Overbuilt Automotive says, yeah, DNA modified Doug human hybrid. I don't know. Paul Kokoritsis says, I'm wondering how did it die? Murdered by Dogman, perhaps? There's not enough of the skeleton to know what killed it. There's no lower jaw. There doesn't appear to be any trauma to the skeleton itself, other than the fact that it's missing the lower jaw, and it looks like part of the orbital sockets on both sides. But yeah, I'm definitely going to be taking this to try to get it tested. C. Blanton says, do y'all have the scourge of wild pigs in Missouri? The scourge of, yeah, we have wild pigs all over the place. There for a while, it was pretty much carte blanche to hunt them. But the Missouri Department of Conservation kind of frowns on it now because they've been trapping them.
I don't think there's, with the exception of maybe Alaska, which they may have them there too, but most of the lower 48 and including Hawaii have problems with hogs. So that's not they're pretty much in every state, I think, now.
Yeah, well, that damn thing spread like weeds.
Mm-hmm.
Arlene Freeberg says maybe it was in a fight with a Bigfoot, and the Bigfoot put its hands in its mouth and pushed its teeth up before it killed it to avoid the creature biting him. This one would have been an easy if it was any type of Bigfoot. it would have been an easier kill for an adult because it's not big. Its skull is way smaller than mine. It would have been a very young one. If it was a Gugway or any type of Bigfoot, it could not have been very old.
Steve, medical question:
toddler age.
Would the teeth, if it was younger like that, would the teeth be spread out a little bit more when it's younger, and then maybe kind of pull in as it gets older? Or
well, if the teeth that we're seeing in there are deciduous teeth, like baby teeth, they tend to be spaced out more than the adult teeth because the adult teeth are bigger.
So that it's possible that could be a young one and it just hadn't got its adult teeth yet then, right?
Well, I mean,
I don't know how well you can see
analog.
this, but I don't know how you can see this, but hell, I'm going to take it out. I don't have any rubber gloves handy, so I'm going to have to be careful about handling this. But what I'm trying to show you is right here, you can see where the canines are. Trying to turn that so the light's not so glaring on it. But there are smaller teeth set closer into the jaw itself. So the outer teeth are way outside those other teeth. And the rest of the jaw is actually in closer than the rest of the teeth. I don't know. Can you see
everything from the canine forward is further out than all the others?
Yeah, it's spaced. Oh. The canines are spaced wider than the teeth behind it.
Interesting.
And they come out at a pretty good angle. And these aren't smooth like a dog's tooth. They're kind of jagged.
Interesting.
I don't know.
Got me scratching my head, that's for sure.
I don't know how well you can. Well, yeah, you got to see the shape. The teeth are kind of not perfectly smooth.
Well, I had some ex-in-laws that had dentition kind of like that, but
Well, the way they're splayed out like that, it just looks like, they're not.
Viking says cocaine bear skull. This is definitely not a bear. No, I have not, Corey. I have not weighed the skull. I've got to find I've got a little scale that I would use in the kitchen for measuring 3 grams of this and stuff like that. I know it looks like a drug dealer scale, but it's legitimately we use in the kitchen. I've got to find it. It's in a drawer somewhere, but it doesn't weigh a lot. I mean, it's pretty light. Overbuilt says looks like a job for Dr. Ketchum. I'm going to get a hold of Doug Hycheck and get him the pictures and have him take a look at it. Jack Mack says baby killed by an adult of the species because of birth defects, or it could be a new alpha male took over, much like with lions. When a new male alpha takes over a pride, it'll kill all the cubs because it immediately sets the females ready to mate.
I think MK Davis would probably like to have a look at that too.
Hey, that's a good idea. Lori Barnes sent me a picture. Let me see if I can share this on the screen.
Amen.
She said this should be similar to a Bigfoot. I think it probably is similar to like the Patterson Gimlin style, but it's got some similarities to this. It's got the crest, although the crest is different. The nasal passage is closer, but it doesn't have the pronounced canines. So this is closer than the dog skulls and the other chimp skulls we were looking at. Other than the weird teeth, this actually is a lot closer. So she says male bears kill cubs so they can make the females go back into heat. Hey, Corey says it's definitely a skull. Yes, it is. Kim Brock says slap USPS on that drug dealer scale and nobody will pay attention to it. You were probably correct about that.
No judgments. He measures stuff in the kitchen.
Yeah, kitchen.
As long as it keeps it under 28 grams.
Darcy sent me some a link to some pictures with. I mean, I'll bring it up on screen.
We got a super
Hopefully I don't
chat
get
from William.
Thanks, man. Appreciate the super chat, dude. Let me share this screen.
Thanks, William.
This is images of skulls with a sagittal crest. I'm not really seeing anything that looks terribly like it. Yeah, these. That's a says just an egg-headed dog trainer. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything that looks even remotely like that. Yeah,
It looks
have no
awful
idea what this
buck-tooth for a dog skull.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Right.
just there's some those incisors are just splayed out too weird.
My buddy's brother said he thought that he was some kind of bulldog. He said only one person out that lives anywhere near them has any type of bulldog, and it's just a little pug. And he said it's not it, because he said that little bastard's still barking and running around the neighborhood. D says interesting, but my vote goes towards a young mandrill. What the hell was it doing in Missouri?
Yeah.
Jack Nick says I still say chupacabra. Folks,
There you go.
we are all about you guys throwing in your input.
Yeah.
CD Squatcher says huge opening for the nose.
It could be a chupacabra. I mean,
yeah, we don't know what it is. I mean, the teeth are not like if you've got a dog and you open that dog's mouth, you can see the canines they are slightly curved, but they're smooth. This is not. It has got like angular protrusions, how it kind of comes down and then twists a little bit and then comes down more. It is not perfectly smooth. And then these are really weird looking teeth. I don't know what the hell this is. But again, whatever it was, it's not very big. But that crest just throws me.
Two Shadows said it's a zoo train wreck. That's where most all that stuff started from.
Well, the thing about it is this is near the Niangua River Valley. There ain't no train tracks anywhere near that.
It threw it a really long way.
Yeah, really threw it. That one guy says that there are other breaks on the skull or just the jaw missing. The skull, other than it's missing some chunks of the outer portions of the orbital socket, the skull is remarkably intact. Toshi says those teeth look almost serrated. Not serrated like a shark, but yeah, kind of. They are kind of serrated. Daniel Hoyle just became a member. Hey, man, welcome to the DAX Machination, man. Glad you're here.
Welcome.
Welcome to the madhouse.
Yeah. Welcome to the crazy clan. We're a group of nutballs here, but we certainly enjoy talking about cryptids.
We ain't right, but we're a lot of fun.
That's true. Papa Bear says it kind of looks like a skull from an Alien versus Predator series. It doesn't look like any animal I know. I mean, I've seen a lot of skulls, especially like deer hunting. You'll find occasional, or you kill a coyote and go back and check on it in a few days, and it's only partially skeletal anymore. I've seen plenty of dog skulls. I've seen feline skulls. I've seen a mountain lion skull. Some of the conservation places around here have like skulls on display. You can go up to Bass Pro, and there's all kinds of stuff that's on display, like taxidermied animals and stuff. This is not like anything I'm familiar with. I've been all over, the lower 48, and I have not seen an animal anything like this. I don't know what it is.
Yeah. Johnny Half says it's a Klingon. There we go. It's as good an answer as any.
Mark Beasel says teeth seem to be made for ripping. That's kind of what I thought. It looks like it's got those for its size. For the size of the skull, those massive canines look like they're designed for locking onto something. And the other teeth behind it are closer in together to get a good grip. David Bites says, that's no skull I've ever seen. Definitely unique. CD Squatcher says a fisher cat has a sagittal crest. There's quite a few animals that do have sagittal crest. It's not unique to primates. It is just most common in primates. This has definitely got some sort of sagittal crest, but it's not feline. That is not a feline skull.
That's higher order mammal, whatever it is.
Yeah, it's definitely, and you can tell by the. Well, I may have to bring the picture up again. Let me bring up the pictures. Let me share this.
Lord Barnes suggested a Canadian lynx. We are way too far south for lynx, though.
Yeah, and again, it doesn't look like any kind of feline I've ever seen. Cat's teeth are generally very close together and very, very pointed and sharp. This thing's teeth don't really look like. Well, they don't look like anything I'm familiar with. Now, those orbital sockets appear to have been broken out. Probably been fed on at some point.
It's missing the outer parts.
But I think this thing had forward-facing eyes. Now, granted, they are moved out towards the sides of the head, but I think it's a predator. I really do.
Well, something we hadn't thought. Look at the size of the nasal cavity. It's obviously a hunter.
Yeah,
it's got a big nasal cavity, so it was obviously designed to hunt.
Toshi says, all I know is if it was alive and it bit you, it sure as hell would hurt. I definitely agree. D says nothing has teeth like this. DA only an 8, sorta, but nothing in North America. That's exactly what I'm saying. If I've gone through over the last few days, I've gone through every Google images of every skull I could think of that it could possibly be in North America, and it's not it's got similarities to some things, but it's not just like anything I've seen. It doesn't match anything I can find.
The closest thing that we found is that picture that he showed that I found that said unknown animal, and
Right.
it was not even completely the same. It just Werewolf said it's a hillbilly something.
Yeah, it's a hillbilly monster. Hey, there we go. Could it be a howler?
That's something we hadn't discussed. It could be.
That would be interesting.
Yeah,
It would
I
make sense.
can't say for sure.
Based on where the spinal cord attaches. That the foramen magnum, the big hole there at the bottom. If it were a more upright walking something, it should be more directly underneath the skull. And this one's further back, so either this thing leans forward or it's moves on all fours.
David Byte says howler has horns. True, but we are also missing parts of the skull right by the orbital sockets. Could that have been broken off? Again, I don't know what this is.
I don't know.
Anything is just a guess at this moment.
Yeah.
If I killed a howler, I'd want the horns for a trophy.
Yep. And I agree with William Bedard. He says it's not a lizard. There's no lizard that I know of anywhere around there that would be even close to that size. I mean,
we're starting to get some gators, but they're very far south.
Well, I mean, that's
this is not a gator skull.
That's very distinct. I mean,
yeah. I've been looking at ridiculous things like wolverines and badgers and things like that, and nothing seems to be right. I wish I had a primatologist or mammologist friend that I could reach out to, because I have a biology degree, but it's in microbiology, not zoology.
That one guy says lizard bones are hollow and very brittle. This has got some substance to it. You'd have to really work to break it. Lori Barnes says looks a lot like a jaguar skull too. I sent you a list of animal skulls. Yeah, I was looking at those off camera, and it's got similarities to some of these, but those teeth are nothing like cat teeth.
Well, and
Two Shadows says I'm still curious as to who or what placed it on the porch. Again, he doesn't know. Initially, he thought the dogs had dragged it up. But when he came back from the field, he realized that the dogs had been with him.
Does it still have molars on the skull?
I mean the back teeth.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's got a few. It's got a few of the back teeth.
Well, you'd be able to theoretically get some DNA off of it. You know, if I wouldn't let
One
it out of
was
your hands
missing.
though, because I think it would
One,
go
two,
Smithsonian on
three,
you if you let go of it.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I've got 8 teeth behind the canines.
Behind the canines. Okay, so well, that's more than on the 18th on each side. Like
No,
each
totally. There's at least
totally.
one missing.
Okay. Well, a human.
And these are odd shaped teeth too.
A human has 5 teeth in each quadrant behind the canines, 2 bicuspids and 3 molars.
Okay, this looks like it would probably had, if I had to guess, 4 on each side. From the plate, from I've got one empty socket where a tooth is gone, but
Well,
from the placement of these, it looks like there's probably 4 on each side behind the canines.
well, it would fit with it being a juvenile, because juvenile humans don't have wisdom teeth, so there'd be
And
4
in the
on each
front,
side.
I don't know if you guys can see that on this image, but on the front, only right here is the only spot where it looks like there's a missing tooth. The rest of them are just that wide apart. They're not. There's no teeth missing from between them.
So, see, the teeth are still wrong except for human, because between the canines, a human would have 4 incisors. It looks like this one has 6, or at least had 6 originally.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the hell it is.
Overbuilt says reverse image search. I got lots of weird skull images, but nothing that really looked exactly like it. Darcy says, Darcy's Wiki says, my guess is the teeth deformity. The deformity of the teeth caused his early demise due to inability to properly eat. Maybe. It's impossible to say.
All right. So a mandrill, just for comparison, has the same dentition that a human has, 32 adult teeth. Mm-hmm. So it's not a mandrill.
Yeah, I can't say with any certainty what it is, but I can say what it's not.
Well, and that's kind of how you have to go about this: start eliminating things that it's not, right. That we can say it's not this. So,
True Shadow says, whatever it is, I sure wouldn't want to be bit by it. No,
assuming that the lower jaw is symmetrical with the upper jaw, it would have 12 incisors. Humans have 8. Dogs, cats, pigs, and horses have 12. What would a pig skull look like?
I don't know. But if the sagittal crest is where the muscles attach for biting, this thing had a powerful bite.
Yeah. And it doesn't look like a pig skull. I just pulled up a picture of one just to kind of look around. The teeth are all wrong. I don't know what the hell it is.
Lori says meerkat. I don't think it's a meerkat.
Meerkat is way too small.
Too small.
I mean, I think the biggest meerkat's like what 3 or 4 pounds maybe.
Oh, if
it would be way too big to be a meerkat.
Yeah, it's not a pig. It's not a horse.
It's definitely not an ungulate. Ungulates don't have canine teeth. So that rules out deer, moose, elk, buffalo, cows. It's not anything that chews a cud or eats, as a plant eater. This has got teeth that are meant for tearing or rending flesh. Lori Barnes says hyena. You send me a meerkat?
Yeah.
I am madly digging here. Hyena's closer.
Lori Barnes sent me some pictures. Black bear skull. It looks nothing like a black bear.
Hyena's closer.
No resemblance to the bear at all.
Which would make sense with it being an Ozark howler.
There's a hyena skull coming in the chat.
It's not a meerkat. No sagittal crest. Teeth are completely different.
Hyenas don't have a sagittal crest either.
Nope.
Did you send the hyena picture?
Yeah.
You know, you might have a howler skull there, because it honestly
I'll put up that the hyena skull and let
It's-
everybody take a look at that. But it's definitely not a bear skull.
it's almost like a bastard stepchild of like a hyena and a primate.
There's a hyena skull.
That
It's
sounds
nothing
stupid,
like that
but
hyena skull. The hyena skull does have that sagittal crest because they got a tremendous bite pressure, but the teeth are nothing like it. These teeth look like they interlock. The teeth on well, let me just pull her back up. Those teeth would not interlock.
your skull has a lot more of an overbite than a hyena skull would.
Yeah, these teeth would not interlock.
Mm. I don't know. You know, we're talking hyenas, but the only thing wrong with that though is hyenas also are not
Thanks, William.
are not native North America.
Steve, William got a question that you can answer.
How many teeth between the canine? It looks like it's missing one, and assuming that's the case, it's got 6, which is not primate. Because we have 4. It's more like dog, cat, horse, pig. Those are the big ones that have 6 incisors on the upper skull. I don't know. I'm stumped. I'm absolutely stumped.
Lori sent me a whole list of skulls. I'm going through that to look for any of them even look similar.
A vet friend.
Did you see
I'm not finding any that look even remotely similar.
Did you see the chupacabra skull that I sent?
Yeah, my dad's a retired dentist, but he's not used to animal skulls.
Okay, let me share this. That's assuming this is legit.
Yeah, I mean,
somebody selling what they call a chupacabra skull. That doesn't really look much like it, but that does look like it had horns. The nasal socket totally different. The arrangement of the teeth is different. K-Dog says some type of rodent, maybe. No, rodents all have those biting teeth in the front, like squirrels and rabbits and guinea pigs and mice and rats. So she says that looks like a Halloween prop. Rethink Inc. says the teeth pushing forward like that could be from inbreeding. Could be. Again, Daniel Hoyle says mutated gugway from inbreeding. I'm not ruling anything out, but we're looking at stuff and saying that what we think it doesn't, the things that it has similarities to and stuff that it looks nothing like. It doesn't look anything like any of the bear skulls I've looked at. It doesn't look like any of the canine skulls I've looked at. It doesn't look like any of the feline skulls I've looked at. It's certainly not any predator that I know of in Missouri. It doesn't look like, raccoons, possums, any, coyotes, wolves. It doesn't look like any of that. That one guy says, Daniel Hoyle, brilliant idea, Team Gugway. Well, I'll send the pictures to Doug Hychek and see what Doug thinks. I'll also send them to MK Davis.
Yeah, definitely circle back with us because I'm curious now. I definitely wouldn't let the skull out of your possession though, because I'm
Oh,
afraid it would get
definitely not.
Smithsonian if you'd let go of it.
I'm afraid if somebody got their hands on it, I'd never see it again. Robert D says it's North's ex-wife's head. William Bedard says pug. It doesn't look like a pug skull.
No, it's not right for a
If
dog, really.
if I thought Doug was free tonight because he does his own show on Wednesdays. Oh, this is Saturday. What the hell am I thinking? Robbie, you want to reach out to Doug and see if he's busy?
Yep. Let's see if I can get him.
You got it. You got him on there. If he's not busy, tell him we would love to have him on here.
That would be amazing. Just have him appear. We have summoned high check.
I'm gonna. William Bedard keeps saying pug. Oh my God, no! It doesn't look anything like a pug skull.
Yeah, Wolverine is kind of a popular suggestion from the gallery too.
I've never seen a Wolverine skull, but it's a type of ferret, so.
Let's see.
Here you go. This is a pug skull.
There is some resemblance to a Wolverine, but I didn't think we had Wolverines this far south.
Let me look up a Wolverine skull. The head is way too domed, and the back of the skull is too elongated. I wish I could tell. I wish I had the lower jaw to see how that they go together.
No.
Because if the lower teeth interconnect with the upper teeth, then that's got to be the way that skull is meant to be. Someone said pit bull. I don't think it's a pit bull. We'll go ahead and look that up right now too. Nope.
I don't know. My personal opinion is you got yourself a howler skull, to be honest with you. I mean, if we're going to throw all the cryptids out there, just based on where the skull attaches to the spine.
I tried to pull that up, and there was no actual pictures of a rendering of the skull. It was just like a whole small picture of the skeleton itself. So it was nothing we could really reference it to.
Sure. Well, and that's the thing. I mean, when you're trying to look for pictures of cryptid skulls, by definition, cryptids are unknown animals. You're not going to have a complete anatomical specimen that you can confirm.
Yeah. Well,
there aren't cryptids anymore once they get to that point.
I've looked up mastiffs. I've looked up bulldogs. I've looked up pugs. I've got boxer up right now. No, it's not similar.
I don't know.
It is not. It's not any canine that I've seen.
I sent
Robert Deep is not a badger. Daniel Hill says Dogman Gugway hybrid. I would lean more just toward Gugway itself. It doesn't have canine features to me at all.
Let me check something. There aren't that many animals that would have 12 incisors that we have here in Missouri. I don't know. Nothing makes sense right now.
It's no type of dog skull I can find. David By says Howler or Chupacabra make the most sense to me. I can't with any certainty say what it is, but comparing it to skulls of known animals, it's nothing I can find.
Okay. So dogs have 12 incisors.
Okay.
So 6 on the top, 6 on the bottom. Are classes of animals that do are dogs, cats, pigs, and horses. It doesn't fit a
Northwood
pig.
says it's far easier to say what it isn't. I agree. It's definitely much easier to point out what this isn't.
Yeah, it's not a primate. The number of teeth aren't right.
But any known primate.
Any known primate. Fair enough. I don't know.
Jack Mack says mutant cryptid or animal. Yeah. D says get it DNA tested. Stay there so you can get this back. Yeah, if I get it DNA tested, I will probably extract a tooth and send it with.
I would say
getting the
that's
skull.
why I was mentioning the molars. I would extract a molar, and
Foxtail says thylacine marsupial. Thylacines, their jaws open impossibly wide. This doesn't have that kind of jaw capacity. Robert D says not a wolf skull. Yeah, it's no type of canine that I can find. It doesn't look like any type of canine that is. Yeah, and I've looked up probably 30 different types of canine species, including coyotes and wolves and most domestic dogs. There's nothing that it even comes close to. You hear anything back from Doug?
No, I sent the message. He hadn't read it yet, so I'm still waiting on the response.
All right, so just for argument's sake, the thylacines had 46 teeth compared to 32 in a human. Their teeth were very fine. They had very weak jaws, so its prey was probably no larger than a possum. This was a much more robust animal. I don't know. Things that make you go.
Life is too big for a possum. And the wrong type of teeth. Possum's teeth are very needle-like.
Yeah.
Yep. Possum skull coming up, so you can show them.
Okay.
Dee's suggested a fisher. I'm not familiar what that is.
What, the fisher cat? I think somebody said, is that what he's talking about?
Fisher cat. I think so. Fischer.
Okay, let me bring up that possum image. Let me share the screen real quick. Give me just a second.
Mm-hmm.
And here comes
That's a possum skull. Comes a what?
Here comes fisher cat skull.
That's the chupacabra. I don't see the fisher cat one yet.
It just came up on the
there we go.
chat. Coastal chat.
That's nothing like it. Look how closely connected those front teeth are. They're very, very, very close together.
Yeah, this thing's teeth are definitely out more splayed.
The skull's definitely wrong too. The skull of that from the nasal cavity to the back of the skull is kind of almost a smooth line. This is very different than that. I mean, look at the skull there. That's nothing like that.
His teeth are bugging me. That is just bizarre.
Yeah, again, I can't say what it is.
I don't know
Richard
anything about
Cox
his
says, I'm
teeth
still
like that.
looking at different baboon skulls. Lori Barnes says, I sent howler monkey. Let me bring up the howler monkey. Sorry, folks, I'm getting like swarmed with messages. Trying to.
I don't know.
Okay, let me bring up that howler monkey.
Even if this were some kind of a, like an inbred mutant, because of the teeth, the number of incisors was bugging me. There's
The howler monkey
not,
got some similarities to it.
there's just not too many critters that have 6 incisors.
The sagittal crest is not the same. The kind of forehead where the orbital sockets are is similar. The
Yeah.
teeth are close, but they're not splayed out like that. But yeah, there's some similarities to a howler monkey. I know the number of teeth aren't matching up, but this thing looks very much like it's possibly some kind of freaking primate.
Yeah.
Gordon Perkins says, "Can you all show a side and top view?" Yeah, let me bring that up again. Let me sure. Okay. There's the dead on view. There's the side view. And above.
Well, what's found in the Ozarks, maybe it's just like a primate on meth.
You could be on something there.
It would explain the odd dentition.
Well, being a hillbilly would explain that.
Well, yeah, there you go.
Hillbilly orthodontia there. Edson Kidwell says those teeth. It's like Dr. Mary's escaped monkey from New Orleans. If a monkey escaped from New Orleans, like a zoo in New Orleans, it went a hell of a long way to get up here.
Yeah, that's a long way. I mean, it's possible, I guess, but still.
Yeah, whatever this is, I think if it's any of the bigger species, I think it's a juvenile because it's not big. It's pretty squarely just in the palm of my hand.
It's one of those Russian chimp soldiers.
And Canada gave us a super chat. Thank you so much, man.
Thank you.
Thank you. And we'll definitely keep praying for you. Hope you get feeling better. Richard Cox says Waffle House primate. Yeah,
there you go.
Edson Kidwell says Animal Research Center. I don't know of too many around here.
Yeah, I don't. Even
Michael
off the
says
boat,
could have hitchhiked to Missouri. I don't even think a Missourian would pick up a hitchhiker with teeth like that.
Poncho Zort said the Mountain Dew monkey.
Mountain Dew monkey, trunk monkey on steroids.
I'm picturing
Huey
some
says
hillbilly.
Montauk Monsters. Huey says Montauk Monsters dentally challenged cousin.
I'm picturing some hillbilly driving up. You got a pretty mouth. Get in.
You got a pretty mouth, monkey.
I can't with any certainty say what this is. I don't know.
D said you're gonna take the head into Agent Blue and get paid.
Well, I'm more of a wild hunt guy. We don't get paid per head.
Yeah.
That one guy says take a picture with a dollar bill at some point. Yeah, I'm probably gonna actually set it on something and then film it from every angle too. But it's I don't know that I've got a tape. Yeah, I've got a tape measure. From tip of its front teeth to the base of the skull, 7.5 inches.
Okay.
Orbital sockets were just shy of an inch and a quarter, inch and 3/4 across.
You said 7.5 inches.
Nasal socket's about an inch.
Lori wanted to know if the eye sockets are on the side.
With them being broken off, it's hard to say for sure. They are towards the sides of the head, but it looks to me like they were forward facing. It does look to me like the eye sockets were forward facing. Eric Staub says, could it be an ancient juvenile hybrid hyena skull? This is not fossilized. This is fairly recent. It is a fairly fairly modern skull. I don't think this is something that was in a cave for 1,000 years. This is something that was placed on his porch recently, just over the last few days.
William Bedard said, whatever it is, it could have used braces.
His name is Gingivitis. Robert D says, DA, how big are the eye holes? About 1 inch and 3/4 across.
Those are some big orbitals.
CD Squatcher's got kind of a good point. Without
What's that?
Vaginal crest, he said a saber-toothed tiger skull looks kind of close to it. It does.
No, I don't think the teeth are big enough for it to be a saber tooth.
No, but just the general shape and the way the teeth are
Yeah.
shaped. If you look at it, it does kind of resemble that. I still
Keith
think.
Van Rensselaer says, government experiment gone wrong. Again, all of these are very viable suggestions. I don't know what it is.
So, this friend lives in.
You know where Elkhorn is?
Yeah.
Out past there.
Okay. So, Jake Light says it's a Mexican American.
There we go.
I was just trying to think of a relation to like a military base or a big urban area, but it's not that close.
And some Tidwell says a cub saber tooth. If it's something like that, I don't think this skull is old enough to be from the fossil record or from the flora and fauna. It's not calcified. It just looks like it just had the skull, the flesh strip from it. I mean, it's still very porous.
One of Margolin's trophies escaped from Steve's Pub and Grub.
That might be it. Hey, Miss Lene's in the house.
Hey, Miss Lene.
Nighthawks just stop thinking above ground bases. Again, William, William, since you're here, I'm going to bring those pictures up one more time and let William take a look at them. William, you are far more familiar with wildlife than I am. This does not look like any animal I'm aware of. That's the above view. Here's the side view. I'm sorry, front view. I hit the wrong one. There's the side view and front view. And this is a guy's hand for reference.
Margolin Sasquatch love child. There you go.
Yeah. Apparently, Margolin did have lip gloss and a beard trimmer.
Lip gloss and peach preserves or strawberry jam?
Strawberry preserves. There we go. Yeah, Barry just became a member. Thanks, Barry.
Nighthawk wants to see the
says
side
something
view
I wouldn't
again.
want to cross path. Nighthawk, you want to see the side view? Okay,
Yeah.
Here's the side view. And you can see down here, kind of at the bottom, that's about where the skull, over in here, that's where the spinal cord attaches.
Yep, you're right, Papa Bear. Raspberry preserves. I knew it was something like that.
Raspberry preserves. There we go. Edson Kidwell says bulldog skull. It doesn't look like a bulldog skull. It doesn't look canine to me, and especially with those teeth. Where was the skull found? A buddy of mine had it placed on his porch. He initially thought it was dogs. He lives here in Missouri, about 30 miles away from me, near the Niangua River, which, again, I've mentioned the Niangua River before. A lot of weird crap goes on down there, especially down in the Moon Valley area. But it's right here in Missouri, about 30 miles from Springfield. Someone mentioned for me to check my, God dang it. Sorry, folks, I've got like 25 messages.
Well, we're at almost 200 people currently watching the show, and the chat is going insane.
That is flying. Okay, this is Lori sent this to me. This is howler skulls. Let me bring this up. I don't think it looks that much like these howler skulls. What do you guys think?
Well, it's definitely much more elongated than the howler.
The sagittal crest is different. The teeth are different. I don't think it's a howler. But again, I'm not claiming to be any kind of expert. I don't know what this is. William Nighthawk, brother, he says, oh, there we go. He says it looks part human and canine. I've seen something like that, but it doesn't happen enough in nature.
So that puts us at potentially juvenile dogman.
I don't know what it is. Overbuilt says Jessica Jones. I'm going to talk to Jessica about it. D says Nutria rat. The Nutria rat still got teeth like a marsupial. I think I don't think its teeth look like that.
They're rodent. They're like a capybara kind of thing.
Griff got his book. That's awesome, dude. Glad you got it, man. Thank you. Thanks for letting me know. Gary Lee says Meg, sure, but the thing is they haven't been around for a few thousand years. Yeah, this skull is recent. Sorry, give me just a second to try to see if some of these messages are.
There's your Nutria skull, so you can show everybody.
All right, you got to give me a minute, man. Oh my God! No, that is absolutely nothing like it. All right, I'll bring up the Nutria skull. Now look at the teeth on that thing. That is nothing like it. All right, let me try to catch up on some of these messages to see what I'm missing. Folks, if you've sent me a message in the last couple minutes, just kind of bear with me. Someone sent me that one guy sent me a mandrill skull. Doesn't really look like it. Darcy's Wiki sent me a juvenile eastern mountain lion skull. Again, I don't think that's even remotely like it. It is way too rounded. Where'd Steve go? Robbie, can you hear me? Can you guys hear me? Robbie, can you hear me? Oh, we lost Robbie. Can you guys hear me out there? I suddenly lost sound. Anybody in the chat? Can you guys hear me? Oh, Robert D says I can hear you. Okay, so it was Steve's muted and Robbie lost his connection. So okay, I don't think it's an otter skull. The teeth look
Sorry, I
different.
glitched there for a minute. I think my internet was not
Robbie.
cooperating with me.
Yep.
Robbie,
It was getting about time.
For a second.
No, my microphone again. It was getting about time for it to do it. We get about an hour and a half in, my microphone kicks out.
We've got a lot of fantastic suggestions, but it doesn't look like anything. William Bedard says it's not a known primate, only 4 teeth between incisors. This had 6. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the
rub.
consensus.
It's the thing that kind of looks like it doesn't have the number of teeth in common with. The thing that has the number of teeth in common with it looks nothing like. Sid the Sloth on Ice Age.
That's the secret if you know what it is now.
Rock and Royce has got a vet school or a zoo near you. I'm going to talk to Doug Hychek and MK Davis, and I'm also going to try to have a chat with someone from the one of the biologists from one of the local universities.
You might want to send Steve or Doug still hasn't seen the message, so I don't know. You might, if you got his actual phone number, you might want to text him.
I don't.
Well, maybe the poor man's enjoying a Saturday night.
I messaged him. We'll see if he sees it.
Definitely worth circling back to.
Nighthawk says, if it's not, then think unknown. Yeah, I don't know. I'll also send some images to Ryan Paul Tremblay. DA, do Google search Tasmanian devil skull? Well, I will look that up.
How the hell do we have a Tasmanian devil here?
In the Ozarks.
Well, there's not even one in any zoos in North America.
Right. There's no resemblance to the Tasmanian devil. It didn't look anything like it.
Because I've been wanting to see a Tasmanian devil since I can't afford to go to, Australia. None of the zoos in the U.S. have one. Daniel Oil like my Sid impression. Oh Lord.
He likes your Sid impression.
Yeah.
Again, folks, I'm not presenting this as any kind of smoking gun evidence. I'm not saying that it's a definite cryptid. We don't know what it is, and everything that we try, it's not that. It doesn't look like any canine skull I can find. It doesn't look like any feline skull I found. It doesn't look like any known predator in Missouri or even North America that I found. James Lindell says badgers or Wolverine. Let me Google.
Yeah.
We looked at Wolverine earlier.
Nothing we're coming up with is ticking all the boxes.
I can't remember if we looked at a badger, but we looked at a Wolverine earlier.
Not a badger. The skull is too elongated on a badger, and it's basically from a nasal opening to the top of its head. It's smooth. This doesn't. This has got like a forehead. The nasal opening goes back to the eyes, and then it goes up.
So Nighthawk suggested maybe it's a hoax.
It's actual bone, though. And I don't think my buddy is trying to hoax me. He didn't want anything for it. He didn't want any notoriety for it. He's like, this showed up on my porch, and you're the first guy I thought of to show it to.
I don't think Nighthawk. I think he joined late. I don't think you realize you actually physically have the skull at your house.
Oh, yeah, I've got the skull right here, William.
Yeah,
it's a legit skull. So she said, the AI posted a picture of a Homotherium skeleton. Yes, but this thing's been extinct for a long time. And, well, here, I will pull this up and let you guys decide. I don't think this is all that close. What do you guys think?
Nah,
So they've been extinct since the Pliocene. It would
I
have to be a
don't-
fossilized skull.
Yeah, and it's not fossilized. And
I-
the whole shape of this skull from the back of the skull is basically rounded down to the nose, and this is not. This one is not. It's got if you look at it in profile, well, hell, let me bring up the actual images again. Let me bring this up again. If you look at that, and what pops up from the nasal cavity, it goes back and then it goes straight up. It's not rounded like a homotherium, like a saber-toothed tiger. It's not rounded like a cat or a dog. This thing has a forehead. It's got the teeth that are pronounced almost like the way a chimp skull is, but the dentation is completely different than a chimp. And a chimp has a more pronounced like overbite and nose. This doesn't have the type of overdentia that a chimp would, and this thing, when you can see where the bone, where the nasal bone meets the rest of the skull, it goes up like a forehead.
Right. Well, and then we have the problem with the number of the incisors. You know, assuming we account for the missing tooth, because there's only 5 there, the thing's got 6 incisors between its canines. That
Meth Gugway.
nothing, meth Gugway. Nothing matches.
No,
Yes.
nothing comes real. We've got some similarities to quite a few things, but nothing that really gets that close to it. Lori sent me a hyena skull. I'll bring it up, but oh, that's a YouTube video. I can't share that. I'll get copyright strike. I can show a still. I can show a still from it for a few seconds, but I can only put this up for a little bit because I don't want to get a copyright strike from another YouTube video. So I got roughly 30 seconds. That doesn't look anything like it. That doesn't look like it. Lori says, you're right. I hadn't noticed the forehead. Gordon Perkins says, contact Texas A&M, the ones that have the body of the chupacabra. I don't really want to give it to an institution because I've got a feeling it'll just disappear. John Kern says, English Bulldog looks close. I will pull up another English Bulldog.
I sent you a French Bulldog skull.
Let me look up an English Bulldog.
Somebody was saying something about a French Bulldog earlier too.
No, it doesn't look anything like an English, like a bulldog.
I don't know. I have not had near enough alcohol for this to make sense tonight, to be honest with y'all.
Now, again, I don't have the lower draw line. I'll go ahead and show this on here, and we'll talk about it for a second. This is a English Bulldog skull. While I can see certain similarities, I don't have a lower jaw to compare it to, but I don't know.
Teeth still look different to me.
Yeah, I would agree. And if you look at the teeth are smooth, whereas this one does have kind of jagged teeth. I wish I could get it to show up on camera better, but the teeth are really, really odd. They're not smooth like canine teeth.
Somebody just posted this is worse than trying to analyze a Zapruder film. It's about how
it doesn't
I'm
look
feeling.
anything like that. Doesn't look anything like that French Bulldog skull either, Robbie.
Mm-mm. there again, like you can have maybe 1-2 similarities to it, but as a whole, it's generally off on a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, looking at the French bulldog skull, there are some similarities on the teeth, but it doesn't have that sagittal crest.
Yep.
At all.
I am wondering, somebody would suggest that we have a mutant something or other. I wouldn't be surprised, but a mutant what?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, most of the likely candidates are things that don't live around here.
Nighthawk said warthog. I don't know what there.
It's got to be a modern critter because it's not fossilized. So
Wendell says an alien experiment makes as much sense as anything else.
I mean, the thing's got to be less than 50 to 100 years old, or else it'd be fossilized or gone.
Yeah, it's not that old.
It's not prehistoric, whatever it is. I don't know.
D says mutant and proud. Oh, one thing before I forget, real quick. The other on our 5,000 giveaway, the night we did the giveaways, 2 people still haven't contacted me. Lyrical Jazzy, who won Lakeview Man Beat the Blanc Road. I still don't have an email for contact. I've emailed all the others out already. So Lyrical Jazzy, if you're out there, I still need you to email me at daroberts@daroberts.net so I know where to send your book. And DC, the person that won Doc's prize, the medical kit, neither of us have heard from DC either. So DC and Lyrical Jazzy, if you guys are listening tonight, please you can reach out to me. Both of you can. daroberts@daroberts.net, and DC, I'll forward that on to Doc. But we still want to send you guys your prizes. Adam Davis is telling by weathering no more than 2 years old. Yeah, it's a recent skull. That one guy says nothing has fit the profile good enough to even guess. Exactly. That's where we are. When my buddy sent me the first pictures of it, I'm like, what the hell is that? He's like, I was hoping you could tell me. I'm like, no, I have no clue. I said it looks like a few things, but I don't think it is. And his brother said English bulldog. He's like, oh, that's just an English bulldog skull. I don't think so. I really don't. Papa Bear says if DC doesn't contact you, I'm sure they claim it for them. James Lindell says lizard. If it's a lizard, it's the biggest damn lizard I've ever seen in Missouri. Yeah, I did. It didn't look like my. That one guy says, DA, did you check your sub numbers? I did. It didn't look like mine had dropped. I want to say that real quick, too, before I forget. That one guy who's in the chat, he messaged me earlier that his subscription to the channel had been kicked out by YouTube. He had to resubscribe to the channel. So, folks, if you don't mind, take a second to double check to make sure you're still subscribed to the channel and you have the alert bell activated, so you'll be given a warning whenever we go live. Because YouTube has a habit of unsubscribing folks, and if you've lost your subscription, please double check because we want to keep you guys as part of the DAX Machina family.
Well, we just hit 200 on the live show.
Awesome.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, thank you for your interest, guys.
D says ocelot cat. Just looked up this one, but no way, it's not that. Yeah, I've looked up every type of feline that you could possibly think of that could be loose in North America, and it doesn't match any of them. Wendy Guizdala says, how many likes do y'all have? 123. 125 just jumped up. 200 people, 201 people are watching, 126 likes. So if you guys don't mind, smash that like button because it really does help us in the YouTube algorithm.
The one guy said he had a resub.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hopefully it hasn't kicked a bunch of people out because we're still growing and losing subs will hurt.
So now you got me curious.
Jim Lindell says, The Men in Black have a head like that from a lot of reports. I don't know. I don't know what this is. 140. We jumped up to 140 likes. Awesome. Thank you, guys. Folks, again, we don't claim to be any kind of experts in anything. You know, if it's been our opinion in this field, if somebody claims they're an expert in cryptozoology, they're probably trying to sell you something. Probably, you know, a bridge in Brooklyn or something along those lines. We're not experts. I don't have a degree in biology or anything like that. We don't know what the skull is. I've roamed the hills and valleys of Missouri my whole life, and I don't know what the hell this is. I don't know what it is. Daniel Hoyle says, what about Dogman human hybrid or Gugway human hybrid? I'm not going to rule it out, man. I definitely won't rule it out. I don't know what it is. Now, the way that it's got that, where the eye sockets are, and it's got that forehead, that's very, to me, that's very indicative of like a human or a primate, because it's definitely got that, you know, the eyes and a forehead kind of look, but it's got also got a pronounced, not like a hugely pronounced snout like a dog, but it's got like its forward teeth are ahead of the nasal passage. So, you know, whatever it is, it's got a snout. Bizzle A says, I've been unsubscribed 3 times from this channel, but I check often. Yeah, folks, definitely check back often, because YouTube gets really weird sometimes. I can't tell you the number of channels that I like and have listened to for a long time. And every once in a while I'll notice, I'm like, why am I not getting any updates from them anymore? Oh, I'm not subscribed anymore. That's why. Little Patty says an alien dog, man.
Yeah, I was still subscribed when I checked just now, but yeah, I've had the same problem you've had, DA. I was like, where'd that channel go?
Edson Kidwell says, I check my following all the time. Watch your minutes viewed, DA. YouTube's only half crediting mini posters. I will definitely double check that. I'll go and check all my analytics tonight after the show. Jack Mack says, goat or goat sucker. Maybe. Again, don't know.
Well, like we said, you know, we're more sure about what it's not than right now than what it is.
Exactly. Jack Mack, did you get your book? Did you get your book yet? Because I mailed a whole bunch of stuff out at the same time. If you haven't, I need to go check with the post office, because I've got tracking numbers on everything I mailed out. The only things I haven't mailed out are the 2 that haven't checked in yet. Oh, you haven't got it? Okay, I'll go to the post office. Well, tomorrow's Sunday. I'll go Monday and check with the post office. Mark Beasel says, it sounds like whatever killed it wanted to let you know, maybe. Again, it wasn't me. It was a friend of mine. He went for a walk in the woods because he lives out in the sticks. He does not live near a town. You know, he lives out in the boonies near the Niangua River. And he went for a walk in the woods and came back, and it was on his porch. He said he initially thought maybe the dogs had dragged it up, but it kind of hit him later that the dogs were with him. Jack Max says, I do have porch pirates, though. I will double check and check the routing number or the tracking number and see if it shows delivered. If it has been delivered and it's been porch pirated, we'll address that. I'll take care of it. Hopefully it's just not arrived yet. Edson Kidwell says, David Paulides is having issues on other topics I follow worldwide. Yeah, YouTube's been weird on a lot of subjects. Jake Light says, sorry, time to come clean, guys. That's just my cousin. We used to keep him locked in the basement. Just here and there, says Fox Skull. I don't think so. It just doesn't look
awful big
right.
fox.
Yeah, it would be a really big fox, but the skull structure is different. Miss Lene says, DA off topic. What do you think the odds are that the Canadian fires are displacing cryptids? That's a good question. I would say it's displacing pretty much everything. It's it is. I would say just about everything that is anywhere near those Canadian wildfires are moved out of the area. So we're getting air quality affected here in Missouri from it. I mean, you saw the images that were on the news of New York the other day. So yeah, we're definitely getting issues this far south. So it wouldn't surprise me if we start seeing a lot of displaced animals getting the hell out of the path of the fires. D says, too bad this didn't have trail cams set up while you were gone. Nice to know who came by. He's got trail cameras set up, and he's picked up a lot of like wolves and stuff on his trail cameras, and he's had trail cameras moved, but he doesn't have anything pointed at his front porch. Up to 158 likes. Thank you, folks.
So, DA, it's not the topic of tonight, but what do you think about the new goings on in Las Vegas this last week with the UFO sighted and then Bigfoot sightings at the same time?
Mm-hmm. That's definitely material for a show in the near future. Miss Lene says, I wonder if there's an increase in sightings. I would imagine so. I know that there have been other forest fires where they've said that like smoke jumpers who would be trying to fight the fire as it was coming down a mountainside would report seeing Bigfoot and other cryptids run past them. That one guy says, DA, check with someone who has made trophy skulls. That's not a bad idea. Check with a taxidermist.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to check with the biology department at MSU if I can get them to answer me. I certainly don't want to give them the skull. I'll send them pictures.
No, don't
I'm
let
afraid,
it. I mean,
I'm afraid if I showed it to the Missouri Department of Conservation, they'd say, "Well, we need to dispose of that," and I'd never see it again.
Yeah, it tends to happen.
But, Werewolf 5674 says he'd pay money to see cryptids walking into New York. Probably wouldn't be the weirdest thing walking through the streets of New York, to be honest.
No.
Jack Max says, I hope you talk to George Knapp. Vegas and aliens are his beat. I might see if I can reach out to him. Bizzle says, when's the next book going to hit? I need some cryptid killing in my life. I'm hoping to have the next one done in the next couple of weeks. I'm going to try to get a June release. So look for release details coming soon. Yeah. I'm about 45, almost 50,000. Right? Yeah, Dark Frontiers 2 is about between 45 and 50,000 words. I'm around 40,000 words in 2 other projects. So this could be the summer of multiple releases. I'm working on several short stories, and I'm probably going to release a short story compilation. So there's going to be stuff coming. A lot of it, hopefully within the remainder of 2023. Hopefully I'll have several releases. Roxanne Delgado says Southwest City had a Bigfoot sighting in McDonald County in 2010. I've got a bunch of stuff that we're going to be talking about here going on here in Missouri. I got some stuff sent to me tonight that was talking about Bigfoot sightings in the 4-state area around us. But I really wanted to talk about this skull and what's going on my buddy's property.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to get out there and spend a night or two out there and hang out and see what we can find. Daniel Hill says, DA, what's the best order to read each individual book? There's a timeline on the website that gives you the best. You'll definitely want to try to stick to the order because you'll get a much bigger picture. You can read them really in any order, but it's going to be like putting a jigsaw puzzle because there's a much bigger story there.
Well, the thing to remember is it's a several interconnected series. The books are all set in this DA verse, And so if you just simply follow Wild Hunt, you're going to miss details that happened in Apex Predator, that happened in Lakeview Man, that happened in the Nightmare Hunter. So,
Craig Harbaum says, so I'm a first-time listener. Hey, welcome to the show, man. Welcome to the DAX Maka Nation. We're glad you're here.
yeah.
So years ago, I used to hear these squirrels barking. That was super deep, very loud. Didn't think much of it then, but wonder, was it a cryptid, Bigfoot, maybe? I don't know. Well, I can tell you from experiences, squirrels can make a hell of a lot of racket. You wouldn't think something that small could make the noise that they can make, but they can make a lot of racket. I'm not saying that couldn't have been something else, because Bigfoot have been known to mimic other animal sounds, most notably what they refer to as the 500-pound owl. But don't discount squirrels just because they're small. Those little suckers can make a lot of noise.
Well, you look at the noise that like a prairie dog could make. Good Lord, those damn things are loud.
Yeah, they can make a lot of racket.
So can whippoorwills at 3 o'clock in the morning.
I didn't think birds cried at night.
Whippoorwills do 3 o'clock in the morning.
Bastards.
They like to beat the sun up. We've got a couple here, and then we've got some crows or ravens that will, 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning.
If I'd have had me a fried Eddie, I'd have had me some wings last night.
They would have been very big wings.
They'd have been quiet. That's all I cared about.
Oh, it's funny. We've got golden eagles here, and they like to land on our porch because I have a lot of birds nesting near my place, and my little Morky will sit there, because he thinks they're there to see him. He doesn't realize they're to eat him. And we have the window open. You'll hear them making noise in the porch. He'll go out there, be a 3-foot-tall bird sitting on the porch.
Christy Crawford says, DA, I sent you a skull pic by email. Let me pull up my email and find it.
That one guy is cracking me up. He's my spirit animal tonight. There we go. Sounds like what would happen to me here.
I can get that. Chrissy Crawford said she sent me an email. I'm not seeing it. Did get one from somebody that says that skull is a young Rottweiler skull. Says, yeah, that's what you have. I mean, I'm going to Google that, but I don't think it is.
Well, like I said, it's got me scratching my head, but I claim to be no expert on a whole hell of a lot.
That would help. Oh no, it's definitely not a Rottweiler skull. I pulled up Rottweiler puppy skulls. Yeah, that's definitely not it. It's not even remotely close. Snout's too long. It does have something of a sagittal crest, but it's not the same. Eye sockets are different. No,
nasal cavity is in a different spot.
Yeah, it's not a young Rottweiler skull. Not at all. Not to mention a young Rottweiler. Not to mention a young Rottweiler. All puppies have very needle-like teeth. The teeth on this thing, if this was a young Rottweiler, the teeth are freaking massive. Craig Harbaum says, DA, you got any Goatman reports lately? I've read Goatman encounter stories, but I've never actually taken one. So I've never had somebody give me a Goatman story.
See, now I got to look that one up. I've never even heard of a Goatman. That's another sweet level of hell that I get to go down.
Some people
Well,
say
there
that's
you go,
what the Lake
Steve.
Worth monster is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Somebody,
The
they
Lake
said that
Worth
that's
monster,
what is. I'm sorry.
the Lake Worth monster in Texas that we're gonna when we go to the conference that we're gonna go try to where they have it. Some people say it's a goat man.
Just knowing how mean a goat is, I'm a little concerned about this.
Yes,
I haven't gone camping since I've been hanging out with you guys.
Steve, they're bad.
They're bad, yeah. You guys suck.
Ski the sloth. Eric, yes,
Okay.
we've heard of the sheep
Yeah.
squatch.
Christy sent me a picture. It says bully skull. This says, what is that? I guess this is an English bulldog, or it's. I don't think that's it. Let me bring it up, and I'll let you guys. I'm not just gonna make a judgment on this. I'll let you guys take a look at it. I don't think it's it, but I could be wrong. What do you guys think?
And what was that supposed to be?
Looks like an English bulldog. Let me. And if that's the side profile, the nose, there's more of a. This section is wrong.
The teeth are closer though, that's for sure.
Teeth are closer, but the eyes are off.
Yeah, and the sagittal crest is different too.
Yeah, I mean that's one of the closest things we've seen so far, I think. But
Yeah, it is. Well, this one here, the sagittal crest is very similar. But I don't know. I maybe. I don't. I still don't think that's what it is. But again, we're certainly no experts. The teeth look like they could match. The teeth are definitely similar, but I think there's especially on the it's closer, but I don't think that's it. There's a lot of differences on where the way the nose is set up, the brow ridge, and the sagittal crest looks similar, but again, not a perfect match, but certainly got some similarities.
The one guy. He was talking about his spirit animals, a koala. It's funny. Of course, I work in basically like a rural ER, and everybody always says that you can't overdose on THC. And since Missouri recently legalized marijuana, we were seeing a lot more cases of THC intoxication. We had a 14-year-old kid come in who got into his dad's gummies, and he ate an entire packet of 100 milligram THC gummies. And I would like to say you can overdose on THC, and it was it was pretty interesting actually. Poor guy was hallucinating, and his heart rate was like 180. And
damn, that kid was super baked.
Yeah, it was to the point where like Cheech Marin was like, "No, bro, you should cut back."
Where's your license? It's on the back of the car.
Yeah.
A lot of great suggestions, folks. Some fantastic suggestions, and thank you guys, everybody, for chiming in and sharing what you think it could be. It's got some similarities to a number of things, but it's not just like anything.
Yeah, there's not
given
been
us some food for thought, that's for sure.
But there hasn't been one species of skull that we can say, "Yep, that's it. Absolutely, everything matches. That's it."
There's a number of things that we could go. I can kind of see a little bit, but then there's far more that we're just like, "Nope, that ain't it. Nope, that ain't it."
Yeah. I don't know. I'm going to play the devil's advocate and say it's an Ozarks howler.
Was looking for something. I want to make a comment on this real quick. If you guys are going to be anywhere near Branson, Missouri tomorrow, I'm going to be. There's a Bigfoot meeting. That's the Ozarks Bigfoot group. They'll be meeting. There's a Facebook group here for the actual event. Hope you guys would check it out. It's actually in the chat. You can click on the link. But if you're going to be anywhere near Branson, Missouri, and would like to come chat about Bigfoot, I'll be there tomorrow afternoon about around 2.
Wow. And I definitely want to thank everyone for their suggestions about what this is. I mean,
oh yeah, absolutely.
We're going to find the answer together, whatever the answer is. And
right. And anything we learn, we'll definitely share. I mean, even if it turns out it is a bulldog, I mean, we'll tell you what it is. I mean, I would rather say, okay, we thought it was something, but it turns out it's something with identifiable. So I would rather say we know what it is than not share that.
So, DA, we are on about the 2-hour mark. Do we need to pay homage to our?
We should certainly discuss our affiliate program.
There we go. That's what I was looking for. Couldn't find the word.
Steve, since you're wearing the Dark Angel shirt, you can mention Dark Angel if you like.
Well, I started out the podcast representing Doc, as he wasn't here to defend himself. So, fans of the show here, of course, know that Dark Angel Medical is very near and dear to our hearts. Dark Angel, of course, they make trauma kits for pretty much any purpose you can ever think of, all the way from the ouch pouch for your simple first aid kit, all the way up to the level 1 trauma type handling kits, the dark kits and whatnot, spear kits. Those who read the books know that Carrie Pocket Doc Davis is a character in the books as well, definitely plays a factor in all those stories. You'll never look at snowmobiles the same way if we read about Doc. And as a proud affiliate of ours, if you buy any of his products and use the discount code Cryptid20 or Cryptid25, Cryptid25, you get 25% off your order. You can also get a Team Odin rocker on your purchase just by making mention of it. The tactical leprechaun, somebody said. The best thing about his kits, aside from the fact that they are American made, and quite frankly, Doc knows his shit, to be perfectly honest, is that he has a kit for life guarantee. And so, meaning that if you use your kit to save a life or attempt to save a life, and you send Doc the story, as well as what's left of your kit, they will what's the word I'm looking for? Will restock, but they'll analyze what you got left, make sure it's usable, replace what you're missing, reseal it, and send it back to you. So you buy the kit once, you've got the kit forever. And there are no better kits out there. You can find cheaper kits out there, and by doing so, you're going to find a cheaper kit. You're not going to get near the quality you're looking at here. We're talking all American made stuff, veteran owned, and Doc's the real deal.
Definitely is. Someone asked me, Daniel Hoyle says, how do you pick Blim blades on Scallywag? I'm going to drop the link in the chat right now. That'll take you directly to the Blemish blades. And there's some drop down menus. You can just go through them and find the ones that you're interested in. Some of them are out of stock. Some of them are still very much in stock. But just go through the Blemish blades and find the ones you like. Speaking of Scallywag, Robbie, you want to tell us a little bit about Scallywag?
Scallywag Tactical is our other affiliate, or one of our other affiliates. They make really good knives like the Dew Claw, the Jolly Roger, the other Jolly Roger. That's the only one you got, right, sir? You got a privateer too, Steve?
Yeah, I've got my privateer right here. So Jolly Roger, privateer, and then my everyday carry, since I work in a hospital,
and the gunner's
is
mate,
my mini jack.
Mini jack, which is the sword in Doc's hand.
Yeah, I was going to say this is the Pocket Doc Davis Claymore. It's so this is some of these blades are D2 die steel, so some of the hardest steel you can get. I forgot what the mini jack's made out of, but this little sucker will hold an edge like nothing. And
Oh yeah,
it's a tiny little knife. I think you'd pay full price for it. I think it's $21. I think I paid $14 for mine. It's the best damn knife I've ever had.
Yeah.
I believe the mini jack is on the blemish blades. Let me check and see if it's still in stock.
Yeah, I said I ended up paying full price. They didn't have any blems in when I bought mine. But
yeah, you can buy the mini jack on the blemish blades for $14.
I have not done anything with this knife since I got it.
And they still got the Jolly Roger is out of stock. The blemish blades. If you want a Jolly Roger, you're going to have to buy it full price.
Yep. Here's the Jolly Roger. I don't have any of the real high end ones. My wife would strangle me, but they're wonderful.
The Orca is still available on the blemish blades for at $12 a piece.
That's a good blade. That's a really good everyday blade. It's got, a good straight edge on it, and it's got the serrated. There's not any. I had this with me last night, and I was using it, setting up the campsite and everything last night. I had my dew claw with me. They're really good knives, and like we was talking about the blemish blades. Go find you a blade that you want, and the blades are not blemished. 9 times out of 10 it's the box. Something's happened to the box, and they can't sell them to you. So go find you a good blemish blade. Go to checkout and put in code DA Roberts 10. It'll give you an extra 10% off that. It does stack up with the discount you get already if you pick a blemish blade. They've got fixed blades, they've got folders, they've got fillet knives, they've got kitchen knives.
The kitchen knives are amazing. I was using them today. Oh, such great knives.
Aren't your sons
they were going through steak like it was butter.
And
yeah, my son Noah, who's a trained chef, has already informed me that when my time to depart this world arrives, the kitchen knives are his.
Now, one thing I would like to add about the company. So this is my privateer. Actually, this is my second privateer. Awesome knife, D2 die steel. So for those of you who don't know steel, that is a very, very, very hard steel. Now, hard means more brittle, right? Well, let's be real honest here. I'm a dumbass, and I attempted to pry with mine when I first got it, and I managed to break the tip off because it's a very hard steel. Feeling like a complete dumbass because I broke 1/4 of an inch off my knife, I emailed Craig, and after politely admonishing me for my stupidity, he said, "Go ahead and send it back to me. I'll put a new edge on it for you." And he did. And didn't cost me a dime. He sent it back to me with a new edge. And I ended up gifting it to a friend of mine, or my brother-in-law, actually. And I was so impressed. I went ahead and bought another one from him. I'm like, that's cool. They teach you how to use the knives. They don't make you feel like a complete idiot when you do something stupid with the knives. And they stand by their product. And
someone asked if the dew claw was still in stock. I just checked. The dew claw is still available, but by the end of the year, the dew claw is going to disappear.
And like I said, I used this one, and I used my dew claw last night as a camp knife. You can't beat these knives. It's like, Doc and I say this all the time. They'll cut you 3 ways: long, deep, and continuous, because they are sharp and they are very good, high quality blades. Like Steve was saying, some of them are made with that high quality tool steel. The Jolly Roger's is 420 stainless steel, but it's got some high carbon in the edge because it will. Typically, stainless steel doesn't hold an edge along. You can get it razor sharp, but once you've used it for a little bit, it won't. You have to redo it. So they have come up with some way to get some high carbon in the edge of this, like some probably some type of forge welding or something like that. These things will hold an edge. All his knives will. The ones that are D2, the ones that are 420. It's just it's amazing. I'm a knife snob. I've got probably more knives than most normal people should have, folding knives. And these Scallywag Tacticals have taken the place of my Kershaw's. Kershaw's not a cheap knife. The 2 Kershaw knives I've got were $80 a piece, and I carry my Scallywag tactical knives over those. So I mean,
Well,
you can't go wrong with them.
my little mini jack is $420, and I believe it's probably the cheapest knife they sell at $21 retail or whatever. I have cut everything with this damn thing. I've cut through zip ties like butter. I have never sharpened it, and I've had it for 2 years, and I use it every day. It's ridiculous the quality of their product.
I use my scallywags. I use them constantly.
And something that we've really never talked about, and I always mean to say it, but it always slips my mind, is how comfortable every knife that I've got from them feels in your hand. You get a hold of some knives and it's a good knife, but the weight might be a little bit off, or the handle, it just doesn't feel quite right. Every one of these knives, and I'm not just talking about this way, if you put the reverse grip on it, they're all set up perfectly to use the reverse grip if you need to, or the regular. They're all just at least all the ones that I've got are just perfectly comfortable no matter how you've got them in your hand.
Yeah, they're balanced well.
Yeah,
for sure.
I mean, it's just they know what they're doing over there.
They make a different product.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
And what about our other affiliate here, DA?
Well, hey, y'all have seen him in the chat tonight. Ken Brock from Brock Blades.
Yeah, busting
is
my
our other
balls.
affiliate. Definitely. Ken's good people. He's a career cop, and he makes custom handmade blades. I've got one of his here. I'm still waiting on the other one, but I can't wait to get it. He's making an Ardennes for me. But this one's called a skein du, which is an old Scottish knife. It means black blade or dark blade. This was a holdout knife that the Highlanders would keep in their sock. But this one's made of titanium. It's like stupid sharp, and it's quickly become one of my favorites for everyday carry. If you know someone in your life that is hard to buy for, especially if they spend a lot of time outdoors or if they work in law enforcement or the military, there's no gift quite like a custom made knife. And his knives have categories. No two are identical. They're all handmade. They're absolutely beautiful. They come with molded Kydex sheaths. Just absolutely fantastic knives. You can check them all out over at brockblades.com. And if you tell him we sent you, he'll give you 10% off your order. So when you make an order from brockblades.com, let him know you heard about Brock Blades on DAX Machina, and he'll give you 10% off your order. Just an awesome dude. And we like to support our first responders and our law enforcement and our military veterans. And these are all companies that are either first responder or veteran owned. So we're proud supporters of those businesses, and we definitely want to do our part and help them continue, because you get a big company like Case or Buck, you buy a knife from them, it buffs their profits a little bit. They don't even notice one sale. But guys that are doing this, that are small business owners, every sale counts. And Doc is a hell of a good guy, and he's a veteran. He's a veteran. He's a disabled veteran, but he's a proud veteran, and reach out to Dark Angel Medical because they're the best kits in the business. All the guys over at Scallywag Tactical, those guys are all veterans. Just an absolute fantastic group of guys. The owner, Craig Burhart, Craig's just an awesome guy. So definitely check out Scallywag Tactical. Let them know we sent you. And Ken Brock's a career cop. He's a good dude. He's the tactical midget. He's not a big dude. He's about Doc's size. But he makes some amazing blades, and he's a career first responder, and we certainly want to show these guys that we support them and we stand behind them. So, reach out to any of those, scallywagtactical.com, darkangelmedical.com, brockblades.com, and use the discount codes for, like we mentioned, it's DA Roberts 10 for Scallywag Tactical, or Cryptid 25 for the good folks over at Dark Angel Medical. Or if it's Brock Blades, just mention that you heard about it through this show, and he'll give you 10% off your order. So thank you. Inky said, did the picks get shown already? Yeah, we've been going over the picks pretty much all night.
What was the discount code again for Scallywag?
It's DA Roberts 10. To pop that back up there. And that's good even on the discounted blemish blades.
Yep. Well, and I asked for personal reasons because apparently the Orca is on sale right now. So
oh yeah, you can get the Orca on the blemish blade sale for $14, and the discount applies.
Well,
So
the regular
down
Orcas,
to like $12.60.
regular Orca is normally $35. It is on sale for $20 right now on the non-blemished allotment there. So
I bought multiple of the Orcas that were from the blemish sale. I gave scalawags to all three of my sons because I want them to have a good knife to depend on. And I carry a pocket knife all the time. I have since I was a kid. So I gave all my boys a good pocket knife. And those scalawag knives are just some of the best.
Yep. For Father's Day, last year I gave my father and my brother, who is also a dad, mini jacks because I'm kind of cheap, but I want them to have a good knife, and they both carry them every day. And my brother's a police officer. He actually got on to me because he managed to to cut himself on his, and he's like, I didn't think it'd be that sharp. I'm like, dude, you don't know what you're getting into here.
Totem Whisperer and Lori Barnes asked about the link to the blemish blades. I just posted it in the chat. Just you can click directly on it. There's the link to the blemish blades. I posted it a couple of times. Let me see if I can put it up on the screen. I'll have to add a new banner. Here's the direct link. Why is it not coming up?
That is kind of amazing. We stayed on topic just about the entire night.
We actually behaved ourselves. I'm really impressed.
There's the link for on screen for the blemish blades. It's scallywagtactical.com/collections/blades/products/blemish-blades. And I did post it in the chat as well. The 10% discount does work on that.
Well, if Craig happens to be
Toshi
on
the Wolf
listening
says,
to us, go ahead, Doug.
Toshi says the rabbit hole was well plugged up because we couldn't figure out that skull.
That too. Well, if Craig has happened to be watching us, I literally just bought an Orca in real time. So,
Hell yeah.
There we are. I ain't playing. It was on my mind from every time that Robbie shows off his Orca and how much he likes it.
I love my Orca.
I don't have that
good
one
knife.
yet. Unfortunately, granted, some of them are out of stock, but the Bounty and the Boarding Axe and some of these others are a little bit out of my price range right now. Only because I have no need for a, sword.
An S word.
Let's see. I was looking to see if I missed any questions. Inky says there was hyena DNA found in Meeker, Colorado. Yeah, the tracks are weird. Some of the stuff that's going on in Meeker, and it's still going on in Meeker, is pretty bizarre.
So, before we get too far off here, we had a comment here about the stainless steel knives. So I carry my stainless scallywag everywhere. It has not rusted. I sweat like any other American fat man, and I carry this with me everywhere for the last 2 years. It is not rusted. Don't let that discourage you from some of these knives.
Now this says stainless steel on it, 420 stainless. I've carried this knife every day for like the last 2 years, pretty much, and I've never needed to sharpen it, and there's not so much as a blemish on the blade. And I cut everything with this knife. Everything from Amazon boxes to dog food to twine to, if it needs cut, and I'm carrying this knife, it gets cut with it.
Yeah.
Oh, Overbuilt says that's the issue. I wish it did rust. Huh.
Oh, gotcha. Misunderstood, Overbuilt. Sorry. I thought you were discouraged from it because they were 420 stainless. I'm like, no, please don't. Please don't. They're awesome.
Poncho says 420 stainless steel, correct. The blazing steel. David By says, my Jolly Roger has some rust on it. But something about my skin eats metal. My wife's the same way. If she has to wear like pure silver jewelry, because if it's even like remotely not pure, it'll like turn green. Folks, we like I said, we pretty much stayed on topic tonight, which is kind of shocking for even us.
Especially
we
us.
don't claim to know what that skull is, but I think we've eliminated a lot of things that it isn't. I'm going to talk to Doug Highcheck. I'm going to see if I can get a hold of some of the folks from the biology department here on one of the local universities, maybe even a couple of them. I don't think I'm going to trust Missouri Department of Conservation, because if it turns out it is something weird, they're liable to demand it. So I'm going to be very close to the vest with who I let take possession of this skull.
Well,
if Doug Highcheck wants to test it, I'll send him a tooth.
After the way the conservation department screwed the pooch with our black bear that we had here in town, I wouldn't trust him to do anything either.
He says, anyone have the link for the knives? Please cut and paste it here. I just posted it at scallywagtactical.com. CD Squadron says, I just bought 3 of the Orca Blim blades, one for me and one for each of my boys. I've given all 3 of my boys a Scallywag blade, and I want them to carry something that's going to hold an edge and going to perform well. I can't recommend them enough. And Ken's blades, just the works of art, dude. Ken, you do an amazing job. I love this. I love my Skein Do. It goes everywhere with me. And I can't wait to get my Ardennes, because right now my big blade that I carry, because I always carry a big blade when I carry my pistol, and the big blade I carry is my Dew Claw. When I get that Ardennes, it's probably going to become the Ardennes. Great job tonight from the mods. You guys did an awesome job. Thank you guys so much. The mods, DAX mods rock. You guys are the best. Pork and Beans has ever heard of Winkler knives? Yeah, actually, the owner, the guy that owns Winkler, is a friend of Doc's. I'm looking at, hopefully in the next year or so, saving up and getting a Winkler Sayok Tomahawk.
I say, isn't some of the Winkler knives in the books?
Yeah, the Sayok Tomahawks especially.
Thought it was.
If you've seen Terminal List with Chris Pratt, those are Sayok Tomahawks that he has. Kim Brock says Winkler makes solid blades and he's a great dude. I have not met him, but he's a buddy. What the heck? Lost all of us. Holy. What the hell happened?
I could hear you.
Yeah, it just suddenly everybody went off screen. Holy moly.
I would call that a melon hiccup.
I don't know if it was a melon. I mean, we've talked about some crazy shit tonight, so God knows.
So, it probably goes without saying, if any of us die tomorrow, none of us committed suicide.
Yeah, 2 things. I don't plan to disappear anytime soon, nor am I planning on giving this skull away anytime soon. I am going to get a hold of some guys like Doug Highcheck, MK Davis, and a couple of local universities and see if we can get it identified. When I find out more information about this skull, I will gladly share it. I mean, even if it turns out it is a bulldog, I mean, I would rather say, okay, it's a bulldog, than present it as something that it's not. Tonight, we presented what we've got, and I think it's particularly compelling the way it showed up on my buddy's porch, and the fact that he's had Bigfoot activity on his land for years. He says the skull is haunted. It just might be. David Biden, at least we didn't talk about the satellite. Yeah, let's not talk about the satellite.
No satellite.
Crazy shit happens when we talk about the satellite. But yeah, when we find out what this is, we will happily share it.
In the
Again, I would
immortal words of Doc, damn satellites.
Damn satellites.
Damn.
I definitely would rather present what it is and admit what it is than try to perpetuate any kind of hoax. There's way too much hoaxing going on in the community. I wanted to show this thing to you guys in the pictures because of all the activity he's got going on in his land. He's had tracks. He's had activity out there. He's had things whoop at him when he goes outside. Of course, all the bark that's been stripped from these trees. There's a lot of weird activity going on, especially in the Niangua River Valley, and I've experienced it personally. So we don't know what the skull is, and the fact that it showed up under weird circumstances could be just a weird mutant animal or inbred animal. We don't know, but as soon as I know something, we'll definitely let you guys know. Billy Mitchum says beaver ain't a beaver. Beaver's got those sharp teeth like a rodents. They've got those cutter teeth. That's definitely not. Well, I think it is some kind of predator. Tochi says, can you ask him if he can get any recordings of the calls? I will. I'm going to talk to him probably tomorrow. I was going to try to get him to come on the show, but his daughter's birthday was this weekend, and he was in the middle of plans with her. But I got the skull from him today, and we sat and talked for quite a little bit, and he told me about what was going on. He gave me copies of all the pictures. He's also going to be getting me some trail cam videos of wolves on his property. Which Missouri Department of Conservation insists don't exist in Missouri, but regardless, they're here. Poncho, that cracks me up. Not going to show that one on the air, but thank you guys so much for everybody being so active in chat. Thank you guys for being part of this. Inky says predators have eyes in the front, prey on the sides. Yeah, this looks like it's got eyes facing front. It really does. Sorry. Anyway, I was reading some of the comments. Guys, thank you guys so much for being here with us. We had an awesome time talking with you guys tonight. Again, as soon as we find out any more information about what this turns out to be, we will happily share that. I'm going to send the images to Doug Highcheck and see if he can identify it. And then I'm going to go from there with the university and stuff like that. So we'll definitely be doing an update on this. Hope you guys will join us this coming week. We've got more good stuff coming for you guys. However, I want to let you guys know now, the week of July 14th through, I'd have to ask my wife. There's going to be a week solid. Actually, we're going to miss at least 2 shows, maybe 3. It's my 30th wedding anniversary coming up on July 10th, and we're going to go stay for a week in a cabin up in the Smoky Mountains. So we were going to go celebrate our 30th anniversary. So she's put up with me for 30 years. I guess I had to take her somewhere nice.
Yeah, I was going to say you need to do something nice for her because I don't know if I could put up with it.
Yeah, she's gonna be put up for sainthood eventually.
Yeah. Well, next weekend I will not be on because my parents are having their 50th wedding anniversary, so I will be elsewise disposed. So, but I'll miss you guys.
Definitely, we'll miss you too, brother.
Yep. You want to talk about the conference?
Oh, the Dogman Conference. Yeah, don't forget the Dogman Conference coming up the first week of September. It'll be September 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. VIP tickets are still available. Yeah, there'll be a lot of us guys will be there. Robbie's going to have some Lone Wolf custom stuff there. Doc's going to have some med kits, and I'll have books there. So hope you guys will join us in. Was it White Station, Texas? Just outside of White Settlement, Texas. White Settlement, Texas, just outside of Fort Worth. You can get those. Maybe I'll post a link. Daniel Hoyle says it's an anniversary cryptid hunt. We're going to be in the mountains. We're going to be in the mountains of the Smoky Mountains. So God knows, hopefully. I just posted the link. Stream Elements has got it up there. That's the link to buy tickets for the 2nd annual Dogman Conference. Again, it's going to be in White Settlement, Texas, just outside of Fort Worth. 3-day event. VIP events tickets are still available. I hope you guys will come out and we can get a chance to hang out and talk cryptids. We'd love to see you. So
If you go
hopefully we'll see
on
you guys
your
there.
anniversary, your wife will kill your ass.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's not going to be anything crazy going on my anniversary unless it comes up to the cabin. Also, if you guys are going to be in the Branson, Missouri area tomorrow, hopefully you guys will swing by and check it out. Trying to see if that was. I don't remember what the link was for that.
You got it's up there, right before the
okay.
dog. If you roll back a little bit right before you put the dog man up there, it popped up.
Oh, okay. There we go. I'll show it up here on the air. If you guys are going to be in the Branson, Missouri area tomorrow around 2 p.m., if you go to the link here, you can find the address of where everything's going to be. I can't remember where it is off the top of my head, but it's going to be at a restaurant in Branson, and we're going to sit and talk Bigfoot for a while. It's going to be a lot of fun. So hopefully we'll see you guys there for that. But we've had a hell of a great time tonight talking about this skull and the weird stuff going on out on my buddy's land. And that's another place I want to go and set a campfire and see what we can draw in and see if we can get some stuff on film and audio. There's a number of places that we're planning on going. Jack Max, has anyone heard of Chessie, the sea beast of Chesapeake Bay? I have heard about that. I think we talked about that the night we had Max Hawthorne on when we were talking about aquatic cryptids. Griff says, "Yeah, talk about a first, middle, and last name moment. Mess up the anniversary." Yeah, I don't think I'd ever live that one down. Baki says, "Dang, missed the whole show. Did they talk about the alien sighting in Vegas?" No, we didn't. Tonight was all about some strange stuff that was found here in Missouri. But we'll be talking about that on a very very near future. So hopefully you guys we'll see you guys on Wednesday night. Again, check out our affiliates. And remember, folks, we don't have fans, we have friends. And we were so proud that each and every one of you guys are members of the DAX Machina Nation. We enjoy being able to hang out and chat. It's always been just like a conversation between folks sitting around a campfire. And something that's, I hope this is always stays. We love talking about this subject and different things. And talking about cryptids and aliens and things that go bump in the night. And we enjoy you spending time with y'all every Wednesday and Saturday night. So hopefully we'll see you guys this coming Wednesday. And again, thank you guys for being here. Make sure you check out our affiliates, scallywagtactical.com, darkangelmedical.com, and brockblades.com. Let them know we sent you and how much we appreciate them. And thank you guys for being with us. We had a great time, and we look forward to seeing you guys on Wednesday night. Robbie, before we go, Robbie, tell me about your channel.
What's really out there, DAX Machina Light. We just had Monday, I think, Adaptive Camouflage.
Great show, by the way.
Thank you. Appreciate it. We got a lot of comments on that. We've almost got our first episode that's got almost 200 views. Our Rougarou show is last I checked was at 195 views.
That's another good show.
Yeah. So we went from a couple of weeks ago we only had one show that had over 100 views. Now we got like 4 or 5 counting that show that are over 100 views. So we're getting there. We'll have a show coming out Monday. I can't remember what order, and then we'll have one the next Friday. Try to have a release on Monday morning and Friday morning. So try to do 2 a week if we can. Sometimes it gets kind of hard about getting those because Taylor and Tyler do all that stuff for us, and they both work and they don't charge us anything. So but yes, it's starting to, I think we're getting close to 300 subscribers on the YouTube channel. So we're trying to get to that magic 1,000 subscriber mark, so YouTube can start paying for our streaming service and everything, so we can actually get that off of us and not have to worry about that part of it. So yeah, check us out at What's Really Out There on YouTube.
Well, much appreciated, brother. And folks, again, we've said it before, we'll say it all the time. We don't have fans, we have friends. And we're proud to know each and every one of you. Thank you guys for being with us. Stories are journeys that we take together. And I want to thank each and every one of you for taking this journey with us. So from all of us here at DAX Machina, And
Let me answer
all of you, to all of you out there.
Let me
go
answer
for it.
David right quick before you go. Yes, David, if you want to listen to us on Spreaker or iHeartRadio or Spotify, you can download the episodes that way. Sorry, boss.
Awesome. No, ain't no
I saw
problem.
it
Not a
pop
problem
up.
at all. But from all of us here at DAX Machina and all of you out there, thank you guys so much for being part of this journey. Welcome. We're proud to have each and every one of you guys as members of the DAX Machina Nation. So see you guys on Wednesday night. Hope you guys have an awesome rest of your weekend. And you guys be safe, and we will see you guys on Wednesday night. Good night, everybody.
Thank you for joining us. Catch us again Wednesdays and Saturdays on DAX Machina. A special thanks to all our channel members and Patreon supporters. Please make sure to like, share, and subscribe.